One of the newcomers for SDSU who gets us underway. Aztecs and the Beavers tonight. Let's go. And they'll quickly look to play it forward. Boyd for Stefan Morera. Trying to look up that right side for San Diego State. It's been 184 minutes since the last Aztec goal. Should see this group setting up in a 4-3-3 tonight. Shutout in the last two contests. No leads in the last three overall. And facing another tough test here in this one. Back to the midfield. Aztecs happy to see Beto Apolinar back after missing a couple matches. Beavers with the early move on the left side. This is Fran Cortijo looking for some central service. Watched by Dylan Presto. Lays it off here for Lucas Fernandez Kim, a transfer from UC Davis. And now Iker Carbonell Garcia will get it to the back, and the Beavers can look to build. 4-2 over Cal State Fullerton back in Corvallis Thursday of last week. Fell behind early. Jared Brookins talking to me about that match, saying, look, we really just didn't have the right energy in warm-ups. It was kind of a weird vibe. Fell behind, still won 4-2, but we knew after the game that we needed to do better. And the task for this team tonight, try and get a result on the road for the first time. Cross is on, right to the doorstep, chopped back, and San Diego State clears it away. Good service to play Paul Fecto in that time. And now the Aztecs looking to get out the back end, counter quickly. Trying to do so, but possession will stay here with Oregon State. Fecto, who picked up his first NCAA goal in another former conference matchup against Washington back on August. The freshman at 6'1", $176 out of Bend, Oregon, and Summit High School. In-state product for the Beavers out of Corvallis in the western part of the state. Second year as a provisional member of the West Coast Conference, where they also see the San Diego Toreros, one of three D1 teams here in America's finest city. Beavers working left side to Andrew Dagon. Long pass over the top, settled on here by Farno, streaking centrally. That's blocked by Gepesi. Back out to the top of the 18, Apolinar for San Diego State. And the Aztecs now facing some quick counter pressure. Viviani, who was injured for a decent portion of the early part of the season, back here for SDSU. Preseason all-WAC, fourth-year starter for the Aztecs, who won the WAC regular season championship last year. The preseason favorite once again. And these two teams both set to go back to the Pac-12 next year. Gonzaga's going to join as well, but only three teams, so we'll see what happens from a men's soccer standpoint. So former conference rivals and perhaps future once again. But still, time will tell there. Baptiste Boyd setting it up for Tristan Viviani. Play all over the pitch for the Aztecs. Right now hits one up high that got a good piece of Nico Knee. And Viviani will get him started on the throw again. 50th NCAA cap for Viviani tonight, the senior out of Redwood City and Sequoia High School. Now a big challenge in San Diego State's defensive half and a free kick. That one won by Fecto. So Fecto, who got on the other end of that look a moment ago. Beavers with an attacking half free kick. Trying to get organized as we give you another look at that last action. A little late. A big chunky challenge there. And then Oregon State start on this thing and trying to establish some possession out the back. Typically setting up in a 4-4-2. Like to get fluid and build out of a three-back. This group's made 5 NCAA tournaments, 6 of the last 7, and had a few different head coaches in that time. Terry Boss went to the College Cup. After he departed, Boss led them to their first Pac-12 championship. Went to the College Cup under Greg Dalby a couple years back. Jared Brookins was on that staff. Dalby, surprise move in the offseason, taking the head coaching job at Air Force, and just picked up his first win there with the Falcons. The San Diego State, see them come conference time, a little bit down the way. Juan Zepeda flicks this header on. Jarred loose by Oregon State. Aztecs with a lot of bodies in the area. Took a touch off the Beavers, so they'll have a throw here. Viviani can get set up on it. Been fine in terms of volume of shots for San Diego State. It's been shot accuracy for this group that has been the issue. Tied for 190th out of 210 teams in the country, getting only 32% of their shots on frame this year. They spent a decent amount of time around the attacking third in the right areas. I need to be more clinical in this part of the pitch. Zepeda flicks a header on. Awkward ball to try and deal with at the back post. As this one's going to be a free kick here for Oregon State. Now it looks like they called an illegal throw that time, so back to the Beavers on a throw. Which of all ways to give it away, given that the ball was actually cleared out of the box when it was played in. Not bad for SDSU. You can go set up and pressure right away. Aztecs, for their part, middle of the pack in the country, 1.3 goals per match, 133rd with 1.2. And that last mark of 1.3 goals against average, 133rd in goal scoring so far. Took their third straight loss on Monday. For UC Riverside, Adrian Diaz in the 7th, Edward Castro in the 21st. The Aztecs outshot him 19-12, 16-5 in the second half. Picking up on that accuracy issue that we told you about, just one shot on frame for the entire match for San Diego State. And another issue they've had is falling behind early on in contests. 2 early shots for Oregon State, none on target, and none so far for SDSU. This one is chested out. Possession goes back to the Aztecs. Now they had 60% of possession on Monday, 54% in the first half, so make it 66% in the second half. Some good opportunities from Josh Lucas, who's on the bench to start this one, and Juan Zepeda. First time the Aztecs have been on a 3-match losing streak since the final 3 of that 2023 campaign there last year, for the time being, in the Pac-12. Oregon State looking to find some room through the midfield. Fernandez Kim slid on here by Richards, and it was Fernandez Kim going to ground that will give a free kick to San Diego State. Oregon State team tied for 49th in the NCAA, 1.8 goals per match, and for 93rd with a 1.2 goals against average. They average 3 assists per match. That's tied for 11th best in the country. Right now it's the Aztecs off the long free kick, and a long way out the back from John Nicholson, confidently going up to get it. Started all 5 matches for this group, 3-2-0 on the year, 1.2 goals against average, .625 save percentage with the shutout. 12th NCAA match for Nicholson, the sophomore out of San Mateo High School, back up in Northern California. Which, if you're not familiar with geography here in the Golden State, is to say a long way from here in San Diego. Aztecs like to apply this high pressure, and it'll win them a throw, and Viviani can take them long here. They've also got a good long throw weapon in Christian Engman, who's starting this one on the bench. So Viviani setting up, look to go long. They got some big targets to pick out in the box. Launches it in. Zepeda ended up with the feet of Presto. Beavers get it. Try and chip it out the back to counter. Effecto on the move. Back to the middle of the park, and time here for Farnos. Very talented for this group. Scored a penalty in this matchup a season ago. Twice in the last contest against Cal State Fullerton. He's tied for the national lead in shots per game at 5.8. Beavers trying to play the seam in. Aztecs had it blocked up with Nick Orth. Leighton Imperato trying to dribble out the back, and he's taken down. So good work by Orth. 2 straight off the bench after he started the first 4, but back in the starting 11 tonight for the freshman midfielder out of Cologne, Germany. So free kick here for San Diego State. Farnhouse tied for the national lead in shots per game, 17th as well in shots on goal per match with just under 2. Physical tussle here. Zepeda manages to jar that one loose. Try and keep the Aztecs on the move, but enough white shirts in the area to take it away. Tussle in the middle of the park. Viviani, important duel to win for San Diego State, comes out with it. Now the Aztecs can get running forward. Presto leaves it off for Morera. Plays it in with the left, and easy ball there for Nicholson to take. One of the newcomers that San Diego State is excited about, Morera. 2 straight starts for him for the transfer from SIU Edwardsville. Group that won the Ohio Valley Conference double in both seasons, regular season and tournament championship, and thus made 2 NCAA tournaments. More than 10 minutes gone here. San Diego State and Oregon State. Still no shots for the Aztecs. No updates on the shot numbers from the last time we gave them to you. 2 shots, neither on target so far for Oregon State. Some effective early pressure by SDSU, trying to keep the ball in this half of the pitch. Long throw comes in down that left side for the Beavers. Aztecs trying to take it in the middle of the park, and they'll win another one here. So it's the pressure affecting the back line, but then winning a lot of these battles, getting in some good spots, and drawing some fouls to take possession back. So an attacking half free kick for SDSU and Imperato. 3 straight starts. He had an assist on both Christian Ingman match winners earlier this year against Howard and then NAIA Life Pacific. And back-to-back matches. Got a couple goals off the set pieces so far. They'll go back to their captain, Apolinar. And now looks to build through the right. A lot of players centrally trying to go 1v2, taken away by Oregon State. And the Beavers can run out the other way. Farnos working with Cortijo on his left. Tries to slip it that way. And Apolinar sticks the boot out. Critical intervention there for San Diego State. But it sets the Beavers up here. Shoved by Dylan Presto. That's a foul. And a free kick coming up. This one drawn by Nico Nee, the Princeton transfer. 3 seasons with the Tigers, all Ivy honorable mention and all tournament team. Group that won its first Ivy League tournament title a year ago. Only the second contested, which left the West Coast Conference, which Oregon State is in now, as the only league without a conference tournament. But that's going to change going into next year. End of the Beavers' provisional membership, though, as we talked about. We'll see what happens with all of that. Fernandez Kim setting up. Plenty of options in the box. Curls one in, headed down by the Aztecs. And away by Gepesi. And now well away by Zepeda. Gepesi in some good spots. Back in the starting lineup for the 3rd straight match here. As San Diego State running end-to-end, and the Beavers handle that thing calmly. Gepesi, the WAC preseason defensive player of the year, WAC all-freshman team. Breakout season in his debut campaign for SDSU. Big part of what this team is doing in the back. Along that back line with Boyd, they've got Presto to the right of them and Viviani to the left. Wide areas of the midfield. It's Apolinar out right now. Orth setting up centrally. He's the one who stands in here. Physical challenge from Orth. And the Aztecs trying to combine and play it out the back. Won't be able to do so, but quickly rallying to win these second balls. And now Tristan Viviani riding some contact. He doesn't get a foul. So that's got to be something that both teams will keep an eye on. Physical play from both sides. Looked like there might have been potential for 1 or 2 fouls to be called there. Neither one was. So they try and get a sense of how Rafael Bonilla and crew will officiate this thing. No givens in terms of easy contact so far. Trying to play it out to the wide side and too far out in front of Arnau Farnos. So back here for San Diego State. Oregon State, this point of the season, got a win against UC Santa Barbara, match day number 1, 2-1 against Washington on match day number 2 to start 2-0. Losses in both the road contests. 1-0 at Notre Dame on match day number 3, 2-0 at Indiana. Then number 7, the now number 1 Hoosiers on match day number 4. And this is a group that's in an unusually light stretch of non-conference leading into conference play. They're only at home one time in September. That was Cal State Fullerton last week. Only 4 matches this month. They had 4 matches in 11 days in August, 5 matches in 15 days to start the season, and right now only 3 over a course of 29 days. So an opportunity to really sharpen up on practices, but also having to do some things, as Jared Brookins told me, build in a few more competitive days with a little more intensity to try and keep everybody locked in. Zepeda chests it down. Tate Richards battles and takes it away and gets it back for Paul Morlans. Morlans surveying his options as the Beavers can set up with 3 in the back, and Richards sitting deep in the midfield. Try and help them build through the lines here. And now San Diego State finding the right time to step and go forward. And once again, some effective Aztec pressure. That goes out, wins him a free kick. And San Diego State frustrated with Iker Carbonell Garcia just booting that thing away. And Rafael Bonilla does well to address it. No need for a yellow card that early for something like that. But now that it's been discussed, if you do it again, wouldn't be surprised to see a booking. Slows up the opportunity for a quick restart when you know the ball had already gone out. San Diego State will give it back here. Picked up wins at Howard, 2-0. Match day number 2. 4-0 here over NAIA Life Pacific on the 3rd match. So back-to-back contests then for San Diego State. And a heck of a run here. And this thing will be brought back for a foul and a free kick. Thought that they were in a space there where they should have had the advantage played to Paul Fecto. But instead, going to bring it back right away as Nico Nee got knocked to ground. And he had some very tricky work make his way through the San Diego State defense there. And no yellow card given to SDSU. That was a heck of an effort to try and spring Fecto, and again, wondering why they didn't have advantage played there. I know Oregon State set up with a set-piece opportunity. It's Cortijo who had the match winner against Cal State Fullerton, plus an assist on the first of the 2 Farnos goals. 4 goals, 13 assists, 43 matches for his NCAA career. Into and back outside the 18, and quickly back into trouble from Andrew Dagan, but away by Sionol Gepesi. It's been tight here in the early going, but the match has a good pace to it. I think both teams trying to do what they can to get forward. Unlike the opposing defenses, good organization on both sides. Some of the transition play from Oregon State has looked very good, including that little stretch that you saw a moment ago. And for San Diego State, I think the Aztecs will be happy so far. They've been organized defensively against a team that is typically tough to slow down. Trying to find their moments to get forward. A little push and pull on the physicality there from SDSU. Way by Morlans, header from Baptiste Boyd. Keeps it going toward the San Diego State goal. And here's a throw-in for Oregon State. Now SDSU, for its part, losses at 17th ranked Virginia, match day number 1. That was 2-0. Then 2-1 against San Diego, who's back in the top 25 on match day number 4 over at Snapdragon. And then last go around at home, falling 2-0 against Santa Clara. They got off to a good start in that match, and then Nee Berkovich produced a couple goals for the Broncos, one early, one late. Give them a 2-0 win, but overall I think it's a much more positive start on both ends of the ball from San Diego State. Part of the big issue being giving up a lot of early goals recently. And you look at the 4 losses for SDSU this year. They've conceded opening goals in the 21st, 4th, 20th, and 7th minutes. Twice inside of 7 minutes. And overall, they haven't made it to the halfway point of the first half. Again, this is in matches that they have gone on to lose, with the opponent off the board. They also have yet to equalize when trailing this season. It's been a continuation of what Ryan Hopkins told me about his group coming out of preseason play in the exhibitions, that they felt like they weren't giving up chances in volumes, but they were giving up a concerning amount of high-quality chances. So quality over quantity there. Defensively for San Diego State, Viviani somehow kept that one in. Thought the ball had gone across the line. Now San Diego State looking to pounce here. Crosses on, looking back post, and just over the head of Stefan Barrera. Pretty well played there from a deeper position, though, by SDSU. As Orth went to get that second ball, will step through and then set up on a nice cross. Just got over the head, a little too much on it. Not too much wind. It does typically blow across the pitch. That near side to far side in our case, which is to say west to east directionally. When it is picking up, but not too much more than a light breeze. Nothing you really have to account for tonight. Nicholson's got a boot. Plays it long. Oregon State carrying it into the 18. The shot is high, but quick end-to-end work there. No touch off of San Diego State. So it's out for a goal kick, and that is game-changing type of distance off of a goal kick as Cortijo got on the other end of that one. Third shot of this opening half for Oregon State. Not on target so far. There's Vincent Fournier for San Diego State. NCAA debut in that Life Pacific match. Got into action late that we told you about. First NCAA start for the product of Clermont-Ferrand in France. And Clermont foot 63, the same club as man playing in front of him, Baptiste Boyd. Aztecs just get this one well away. They can go long and now try and set up with some of that attacking pressure, but Nicholson tracking this thing down, able to scoop it up. And you saw the range and the boot that he has a moment ago, and that's something that San Diego State will have to be aware of. It's almost like playing outfield in baseball. See that thing coming in high and hard. First thing you got to do is go back, get your positioning there. As he can get it well down the pitch. Trying to build out the back, and once again, that's why for San Diego State, that's not necessarily a bad thing to give away possession there. If you're giving it away deliberately all the way down to your opponent's defensive third, the way they've been pressing so far, they've liked that, and we're at the halfway mark of this opening 45. Goalless in this one. It's curling pass to find Viviani. Leads him and the Aztecs into the attack. Viviani lost the footing on it for a moment. They managed to stay on it as Miller got it centrally. Now Nick Orth battling through some traffic. Away by Iker Carbonell Garcia. Aztecs looking up the other side this time. Stefan Barrera, and they'll give this thing away. Oregon State, offensively this year, it's been about balance and volume. 8th nationally in total assists. 6 different Beavers coming up with goals through the first 5 matches. 3 for Farnos, 2 for Cortijo to lead the way. Continuing to carry this thing forward all the way into the 18. San Diego State intervening and taking it away. But, man, a good long run there from the former Ivy Leaguer Nico Nee. Grad student out of Carrollton, Texas. Played with Red Bulls Academy U19 and Solar Soccer Club out in Texas. Helped them win back-to-back state titles. Whereas the Ivy with no red shirts available, so a lot of those guys, kind of the early wave of transfers once the portal and everything really started to open up, don't offer that extra year of eligibility, so you go find it somewhere else. And a nice get for an Oregon State group that lost some good performers, including Sergei Solans from a year ago. Right now on the move, here's Nee once again. Right side with Carbonell Garcia. Turns it centrally around Viviani. Now patience in possession in this midfield line here. I want to try and go all the way back. Juan Zepeda says no, and they say, okay, we'll turn the corner and go forward. It's Fernandez Kim. Slips a pass through. Too much on it. So the Aztecs that time with Zepeda popping up in a good spot. Trying to get Oregon State forcing the Beavers to play direct instead of taking the opportunity for the reset. Aztecs in position and leads them to winning a goal kick. The defending WAC champs, 10-5-3, 7-0-1. They lost in the semi to San Jose State, up 2-0 in the 60th minute. Ended up losing that match 3-2. And it's the first time in a while that, in this point of the season for San Diego State, that a possible at-large berth to the NCAA tournament is out of consideration. They haven't started like they have in non-conference in the last handful of years. So still trying to sharpen up ahead of WAC play, and all eggs into that auto bid conference tournament basket. Beavers back on the move, looking right side. Knee, floating it, back post, got over everybody. Some oohs and ahs, good crowd here in attendance tonight. A lot of Aztec fans, a lot of Beaver fans just off to my left. He ended up in a dangerous spot that chased Vincent Fournier back. Ryan Hopkins really likes about Fournier his composure, his agility, sharp reflexes, strong positional awareness. Competing in the National 2 in France. It's been good, reliable line of defense back there. Was one of a lot of international student athletes that unfortunately had to get to training camp late this year. And well, who knows if he might have got some opportunities earlier. We knew they liked him from early in season. The Aztecs also know they have a steady vet in Eddie Vargas in their goalkeeping room as well, who's handled all of the major minutes so far. Ortijo keeps Oregon State on possession. Looking to find it forward. Fernandez Kim out wide. One touch and a cross. Trying to center it back up. Blocked by Gepesi twice. Oh my goodness. C&O Gepesi. 2 blocks for San Diego State. A fine defensive sequence that took away what would have been a beautiful goal for Oregon State. Now this is quality right here. One touch, the service from Cortijo. Little nudge in with the right. Gepesi right where he had to be with the right foot. And there to block the second shot after Fournier just got a paw to it. First significant moment of the match here in the 28th, and very nearly a goal there on some great link-up play from Oregon State. It's going to be a throw-in for the Beavers, but that should be for San Diego State. That thing went out. They're touching Carmenel Garcia. That's a few on this side that have clearly crossed the line that they haven't called, so that's another thing to keep an eye on here. You got to keep playing through for both of these sides, not take what you think you see as a given. And Beavers set up in a back three, keeping 2 now in short support. The 2 6s, Fernandez, Kim, and Richards. And now trying to start this move forward from the back line. Zepeda giving chase. Dagon streaking out the back. Rolls it through. Gepesi able to get there once again for SDSU. Another dangerous moment that time. And good long run coming out the back from Dagon. 44th NCAA match for product of Trinidad and Tobago. Spent some time with their Youth International Club, U17, U20. Also pro experience with Atlanta United's 2 side. 3 substitutions here for San Diego State. Now, Carson Bella into the match along with Josh Lucas. That is Christian Engman's number 2, but that looks like Rami Jaridley who's wearing it for SDSU. And Jaridley, normally number 22 for the Aztecs. He's got number 2 on tonight. So some fresh sets of legs for San Diego State. Trying to establish some footing here early on in this thing. Oregon State getting that first shot on target a moment ago. So 6 shots, 1 on frame, Still no shots for SDSU. Again, I think the Aztecs have done well with that high pressure, trying to take a little bit better care of the ball here in the attacking half, and specifically around the attacking third. Josh Lucas, the former San Jose State Spartan, as they link up here looking to pick out Bella. Tracks it down, keeps it in play. And again, the Aztecs to try and reset here. And taken off in the first half in NCAA men's soccer. No re-entry until the second half. Lucas backing off, playing that second ball after the header by Knee. Showing off the dribbling skill. Gets by Knee, tries to drive it through for the hold-up play of Zepeda. Taken back by Richards, streaking forward to start the counter. Now Gepesi called into action here for SDSU, calmly plays it back to Fournier, who gets it a good long ways away, but Juan Zepeda is offside. Bella, Lucas, and Giridley in for SDSU. Miller, Morera, and Imperato taking a seat. Bella, first team All-Horizon, third team All-Region a season ago with Oakland. He's got an assist in back-to-back matches from earlier this year. Like Pacific and San Diego. Carbonell Garcia getting downhill, stuck to the feet. And that is a handball that goes against Oregon State. So free kick for SDSU. And popped up high on Carbonell Garcia, who's been a great setup man. Good one to have on the ball. The redshirt sophomore with 4 assists. 4th in the NCAA and total assists coming into the week. With the product of Alicante in Spain. And the UCAM Murcia's B side, and also spent time in the Elche youth system. Zepeda settling on a bouncing ball here. Slips Lucas up that left side, and the Aztecs want to throw. And again, a lot of that physicality with Zepeda, who will do a lot of that work for San Diego State. Going into Tate Richards that time. Sets the Aztecs up in a good spot. And Viviani here to try and get on it. Israel Carrillo Perez, not seeing him tonight for SDSU. Time for the team lead with Christian Ingman, 2 goals. Zepeda gets airborne, flicks the header on, moves still on here, as that one is caught by Nicholson. And the Aztecs able to get their first shot on frame here in minute number 33. First shot of any kind so far tonight. Turn to the corner in a flash there for Farnos. Calmly rolls it out wide to Carbonell Garcia, and now in for Knee. Talking with Jared Brookins, he said, well, hey, what I've liked about this group is just that. I really liked it. Team for Oregon State this year. He said it's a fun group. We're excited to be together. Got intensity. Want to improve. Felt like this group comes in and said, we think we're somewhat overlooked. Lost in the first round of NCAAs last year. Their 5th straight postseason appearance. Had some important guys leave, but he said, we've got a chip on our shoulder in a good way. Rolled in, across the face of goal and out. Off the left foot of Farnos. No touch. And get downhill in that transition game. It is very fast. Starting with Carbonell Garcia in the middle here. He's playing Farnos. Look at all that space in the middle of the park. Caught it on the run. Really good spot to have a go. What I like about that, too, didn't overhit it. Can be tempting to look up, get big eyes, and just want to smash that thing. Pretty good look coming out the back. And for Oregon State, is that one rode up high on Lucas. New starter for the San Diego State group with a handball. 39th NCAA appearance going back to his time at San Jose State. 19th here with SDSU. Picked up an assist at Howard for Juan Zepeda goal in the 78th. And the Aztecs a little insurance for their only win against a Division I opponent this year. Brian Hopkins at the helm, 6th season, the 2024 WAC Coach of the Year. 10 wins, most for this group since 2011. First conference title of any kind in program history. Hosted 6 shutouts in WAC play, 7-0-1. And he's working on some pretty good home marks as well for SDSU. They're 18-3-0 in non-conference matches here on the Sports Deck. Had a couple of big matchups down at Snapdragon Stadium, which has been their single match, home away from home. Going back to 2022 now, so 4 years running of that. Saw San Diego there on Monday of last week. Goes on out and stays with San Diego State for a throw. So we go inside of 10 minutes in this opening half. No stoppage time, so we play right up to 45 on the nose. Try and set up Viviani here for another long throw. Great technicality, great athleticism about his game. Huge part of helping the Aztecs transition from defense to attack. Loops in a long throw with the right boot that time. Ends up wide of the near post. That was Baptiste Boyd trying to get in on the action. Transfer from Oral Roberts. Boyd, second team All-Summit a season ago. Played every minute for that group. Started every match he's been available for. He had a red card at Virginia, so was suspended for the Howard contest. 35th NCAA match for Boyd tonight. Here's Lucas, been heavily involved since checking in here. Drags it to get on to the right, taking on a couple defenders. Back to the top, Apolinar with the left, sailing over and out. Well, Lucas picking that up around the edge of the 18, driving low, taking a couple defenders in, open up some space for Apolinar to have a go. Couple substitutions here for Oregon State. Fabian Stroudy is back in. This is a good sign for this group. Stroudy missed the last 2 contests, as had a San Diegan in Jacob Zapian. And there you see Tim Hoffman coming off the bench as well. Stroudy, second team All-Region, second team All-WCC. One of the best setup seasons in program history. 2 goals and 12 assists. Hadn't played for the last 2. And in for his 4th appearance of the season, first time off the bench. Stroudy gets back into action. And for San Diego State, one of their top goal-scoring threats, Terrence Oke-Gwali. Haven't seen him tonight. He's missed the last 2. Both Oke-Gwali and Apolinar injured against San Diego Monday of last week. Now it's Oregon State getting forward. Nice play to wait for that opening. Hook it out to the left side. And into a wall of scarlet and black, they'll take it away. Play it forward. And Juan Zepeda, a little bit of hold-up play, and that time Fernando Hernandez went to ground. And now they're going to bring this thing back. Is there a little bit of an elbow or a push-off that time by Zepeda? You're going to see the clock stopped here, which you have to do if you're going to give a yellow card. This could also just be in an injury case. The Beaver who remains down on the ground, and it looks like they're trying to usher out the Oregon State training staff and Mallory Whitman. Well, took an arm in the back. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. He came away holding his face, even though the contact was to the chest. So that was clearly simulation there as you took another look. Plus contact on both sides. If you're not going to call one or the other, there's no need to give either. But that was basically the same contact that Zepeda took first that he then returned. But really, neither one of those enough to be a foul. So for that and to bring it back late, didn't think that was the best officiating call that time by Rafael Bonilla and crew. And San Diego State was thinking, well, maybe this is stoppage because of injury. We get it back on a drop ball. No, they brought it back for the foul. But again, well, bought the dive that time and give possession back to Oregon State. A bit of contact from behind. Hoffman takes it well, getting all the way through San Diego State here. Apolinar comes away with it, dribbling hard out the back, and allows the Aztecs to relieve some of that pressure. And now Zepeda and Hernandez going at it once again. Comes back through. Here's Hoffman. And a lunge to try and get to that one. Gets on back to Fournier, who's safe to play it with his hands if he wants to here. A little more than 6 minutes to go in this opening 45. 7 shots, 2 on target for the Beavers. 3 shots, 1 on target for San Diego State. Really one dangerous chance for either side. That was that double C&O Gepesi block by SDSU on a really nice bit of combination from Oregon State a little while back now. Carbonell Garcia leaving it for Richards. Beavers back at it here in the attacking half. Lucas Fernandez-Kim playing in his 62nd straight NCAA match tonight, going back to 2022 with UC Davis. Now trying to battle and get downhill, but Apolinar dueling for San Diego State takes it away. Now let's boot this thing forward. Zepeda, no matter what he brings to the table for the Aztecs, if you want to sit a few more players back in a defensive look, you can launch it out the back. He'll give you some hold-up play, even if he's against maybe 3 defenders, 3-4 defenders on that back line. And then you allow some teammates to run up in support. So that hold-up play, pretty valuable if you're trying to keep a few more numbers back. Carbonell Garcia, a couple Aztecs slipping. He's in a great spot here. Tries to chip it, back post, headed away by Presto. Chased now by Giridley. Forward for Zepeda. And the other thing that allows you to do for San Diego State, Zepeda, establish some physicality and just, even if you aren't spending as much time as you want around the attacking third, you can make some good physical play. Get some knocks into the other team's defenders. Try and tire them out a little bit. Richards, part of the build-up as they get it to Fernandez-Kim. Back here to Richards. First Oregon State point on an assist. Fernando Hernandez's goal against Cal State Fullerton last time. Now looking off that left side, trying to play the slip in, and this one will go to San Diego State. The Aztecs, for the most part, have done well to limit potential volume of chances so far. The one really good one outside of that, I like what you're seeing from San Diego State so far defensively. Again, by the 21st minute mark in all 4 of their losses this year, they have been behind. And when they've gotten behind, they have not been able to come back and equalize. So it's been a much better defensive start for SDSU. It's leaking too many quality chances early on in the year. Morlans. Going in here for Hoffman. Gepesi getting stuck in. Throw-in goes here for SDSU, or no, for Oregon State rather. A couple Aztecs appealing that there might have been a touch. That stays with Oregon State. Sliding challenge in that time by Zepeda. Flying in to win it back. Aztecs trying to spring Presto here. Couple options arriving centrally. Presto gets the cross away. Zepeda just behind him. Clearance goes out wide and then quickly away from trouble by the Beavers. No nonsense that time getting it out the back, and Oregon State will keep possession here. A little more than 2 minutes until the halfway point. Goalless between these two teams in the 43rd all-time meeting in this matchup. Oregon State leading at 25 wins, 12 for San Diego State, and 5 draws. Won it 4-1 in Corvallis a year ago. 2 straight to the Beavers. In 2023 was the last year. 2005 was the first of both squads in Pac-12, or the 6-pack if you'll have it. Stanford, Cal, Washington, and UCLA also in the mix in that 6-team league. Fernandez Kim, a Big West champion in the tournament season ago. Curls it in on goal, header away by Boyd. Now back out this way by San Diego State, and Oregon State wins a corner. 1 minute to go here in the opening half. And this is the first corner for either side in this one. Began with the captain's armband on. Looking to set it up. A short run up with the left. Curls it in. Dangerous looking ball away by Boyd. Can try and keep it into the crowded area here. They find Dagon in a great spot with the left once more. One header flicked on, and Boyd's in the area again. 25 seconds to go. So a decent amount of time here. Good looking move. They'll try and send it forward. Aztecs stepping, breaking it up, and it's a goal kick. Baptiste Boyd in the area there for SDSU, and that'll be the last significant skirmish here of this opening 45. Entertaining first 45 minutes between San Diego State and Oregon State, and it's goalless here on the sports deck. 8 shots and 2 on target for the ball, and he will give way for the start of the second half. So I want to kick it off. I want to get San Diego State pinned in deep here early, as Arnau Farnos fired that one forward. Pretty good, pretty tight opening 45, but well, tight in the sense of no goals. But both of these teams showing a good willingness, I think, to go for it here tonight. Not one of those goalless halves where you say, well, nothing happened. It's been hard to get shots on frame. Just 3 of them total out of the 11. Headed down here by Rami Jaridli, who is back wearing number 22. So he seems to have found his kit at halftime. And they'll spring Jaridli up the right side early. Crosses one on. Dangerous looking ball. Back outside the 18. Viviani can go and get it. Move still on here for San Diego State. Also had to see the front of Rami's jersey to confirm. Yes, he is now wearing 22. The Aztecs slip a ball in up the left side, and a positive look for SDSU. Start this second half as they try and play in Beckett Miller. 3 straight starts for Miller after the first 2 off the bench for the freshman out of San Clemente. Spent his club days with Strikers FC. Top Drawer Soccer top 200 recruit at number 114 in the country, 15th in Southern California, and 40 in the midfield. As Ryan Hopkins continues to stack up good recruiting classes, 26th ranked class of incomers coming in here for 2025. Couple seasons at Virginia for Hop before getting here to SDSU, the number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament in 2019. 21-2-1 that year, got to the NCAA title match. 3-3 against Georgetown in the thriller, ended up losing it on PKs. For the Aztecs, a big-time opportunity in the WAC, picked to win it again this year. Back in the WAC where they spent a little bit of time, 1996 to 1998. California Baptist in at number 2, San Jose State 3, UNLV and Utah Valley tied for 4th. Seattle is now a member of the West Coast Conference, and that is a full-time member for the Red Hawks. They won the WAC tournament a year ago and were always the team to beat. Last handful of seasons in that league. And then UT Rio Grande Valley moving on to the OVC. So the WAC goes from 10 to 8 now. Aztecs attacking out, takeaway. Presto, step in just at the right time. They're from Fernando Hernandez. Apolinar, Aztec captain, back after missing the last 2. Headed down here, Nico Nee. This thing is sent away, and it's a throw-in for Oregon State. Fournier back out there for SDSU, along with Boyd, Apolinar, Miller, Jaridli, Viviani, Presto, Orth, Gepesi, Morera, and Imperato. The Aztec 11 to start this second half. Oregon State starting out the back here. Nicholson, Carbonell. Hoffman, who was a first-half sub, had some pretty good direct runs in the attacking third. I like what they got out of Tim Hoffman, freshman out of Hamburg, Germany, and a very good club in São Paulo FC. Morlans, Fernandez, Kim, Cortijo, Farnos, Nagan, Richards, Hernandez, and Nee. 11 for visiting Oregon State tonight. Program that goes back to 1988. WCC is provisional member since 2024. Aztecs provisional members of the WAC. First season of competition back in 1975. Stop and go here for the very dangerous Farnos, and he's going to draw a free kick. Contact by Apolinar that time, and this is a good opportunity. A little outside the post, but just 20 some odd plus yards out, and closer to 24. See with where they officially set it up. Got Farnos in his 49th NCAA match tonight. 16 career goals and 11 assists for the senior out of Riudoms in Spain. Spent his club days with Barcelona, Celta Vigo, and Girona. San Diego State will look to organize the wall, and Vincent Fournier, a French international in his first NCAA start, setting the Aztecs up to defend this free kick. They'll place 6 in the wall, so some good numbers. They want to chip it right side, but this is a great chance to have a go direct. Farnos delivers a beauty for Oregon State. Goes to the right side. It gets the Beavers the opener. It's 1-0 here in the 51st. Either post in play. And Farnos knocks in his 17th NCAA goal. Convention says you're going to go left. Goes the opposite way. In the corner, and he says, let me hear you, Oregon State fans in San Diego tonight. He got a penalty against SDSU last season. West Coast Conference midfielder of the year and All-American a year ago. Drafted by New York City FC in the 3rd round. And then decided to return to Oregon State. So NYC still retaining his MLS rights. On the Mac Herman watch list for Player of the Year. Coming off of an outstanding campaign and in the midst of another one here to start 2025. 4th goal of the season to go with 2 assists. Had a lot of offensive balance, but he has been the go-to man, now up to double-figure points on the year. Bit of contact there, but nothing doing. Now on that for San Diego State, a foul given away. This one's going to be booted up and behind us here. Back down onto a practice field behind us where there was some lacrosse going on earlier today. Fortunately, it seems to be emptied out by now. Oh, no, that's actually up to that right one. So if you took from our vantage point, and this is a little bit below the camera angle that you're seeing here. Back behind us, you got to feel where lacrosse is going on. That's well to the, facing the soccer pitch from this angle, well to the left. If you turn around, it's off to the right. And a football practice field behind us, but again, fortunately, nobody there. It would have been, look out below on that long clearance. Trying to shield this thing on out of play, and they'll do so effectively. So Farnos with a terrific free kick goal for this group. Jared Brookins saying simply he is the best player I've ever worked with. He's special on the ball. Said, look, I know I'm biased, but I think he's one of the best, if not the best player in the country, because I get to see it every day. He's exciting. He's in good form coming in, and he continues that good form tonight. Coming off of 2 goals against Cal State Fullerton last time around. But in a game where it's been tight, it's been hard to find avenues to get forward through the run of play. Those types of fouls, anything within a couple yards of the 18-yard box, give away a chance to go direct. Kinds that have potential to create those sorts of opportunities. Both posts in play. Farnos going far post. Stunner of a goal that's no doubt going to make its way onto some highlight reels. Imperato here for San Diego State. Into a crowded area back outside the 18. Trying to drive it into some traffic here and a right boot away. Now Apolinar left to chase this thing back with a couple San Diego State defenders all the way forward. Fournier calmly on it here. Gets it over the halfway line. And now boot forward for the Beavers. So Farnos in the 51st. A great set piece. Gepesi here connecting with Morera. Now San Diego State finding itself in some familiar territory behind here, but I think the Aztecs will overall, it's a lot more competitive effort so far tonight. So Oregon State bearing down on goal once again. That's the goal scorer, Farnos. Not given away too easily this time by Gepesi, trying to make his way out the back. Beavers looking for more here early in this second half. Group under head coach Jared Brookins was with Greg Dalby on staff for the last couple years. 21, 11, and 8. 2 NCAA tournaments for Brookins with this group as an assistant coach. Beavers working the right side. They have been shifty. Shake some Aztecs defensively. Carbonell Garcia keeps it on, and it's headed away. Presto there on the back post. 2 straight starts for San Diego State for the junior out of LA and LAFC Academy. Arriving at the right time with Fournier, the keeper, then stepping forward. They tried to chip it onto the far post, but some of this 1v1 dribbling has been solid for the Beavers and just creating a few of those openings. Arriving in some choice spots here. Wins him a corner. Lucas Fernandez Kim curling in, ended up hopping in the box. Awkward ball smashed at. Fournier makes a save and a second save. Big stops from Vincent Fournier. Landed in the box, and he makes 2 saves at close range. Viviani, big challenge that time through the back of Hoffman. Nothing doing there. It'll stay with San Diego State. Fournier in his first NCAA start for the Aztecs tonight. Got a paw to one on that skirmish in the opening half. Stopped the Beavers from getting on the board, and that last little sequence looked like it had goal number 2 written all over it. Not for some good goalkeeping. Thought might have been just slightly out of position with where that ball landed. I think it actually landed around the 6-yard box, which, with how close it was to goal, you could say front to back from the keeper's perspective, just left to right, I guess, if you're an attacker. With how centered it was on goal in the 6, I thought that was going to be Fournier's to take in the air. Didn't end up being that, but still made 2 big saves. Beavers around the top of the box. San Diego State gets it away only as far as Carbonell Garcia, as Beckett Miller battling in. Wins it back, trying to play the Aztecs forward. Here's Rami Giridley. Slipping a pass through. And the Beavers have it well covered, and Nicholson will take some time to settle on it here. Cortijo and Hernandez with the shots for Oregon State just a moment ago. The Aztecs came out and had a positive first handful of minutes. The Farnos free kick goal, and then Oregon State has taken over the run of play here once again. And leaping play to try and flick the header on. Hoffman barreling through Viviani, and now Hoffman slips on the track behind the pitch. Seen a few Aztecs fall down tonight. Ultimately able to defend that out. Fournier can set up with a goal kick. Ryan Hopkins coming into this match for San Diego State. It said after that last home contest against Santa Clara, look, we just haven't been able to put a complete performance in. Some phases, some nights good, some phases not. So we just got to figure them out, put them together, try and work that thing out. Said about tonight's match, look, we're going through a tough stretch as a team right now, but spirits are high, trying to be process-oriented, not results-driven. Said college soccer success overall, 90% of that is about not beating yourself. And he said we just have not been good at that part of the game so far this year. But looking forward to seeing what the team had learned tonight, taking on another challenging opponent in Oregon State. They go 2 out of 10 in the WCC preseason poll, a league that is shaping up pretty nicely here in 2025. San Diego Toreros back in the top 25 on the strength of 4 straight wins. They'll be taking on Kansas City tomorrow night. If you happen to be tuned in on ESPN+, I'll be there for that one. Portland looking good once again. USF continues its ascension, and the newcomer Seattle in the mix as well. It's going to be another good year for the West Coast Conference, no doubt. This one launched forward, stayed in play here. Boyd can get it, try and turn his way out for SDSU. Barato flicks it on. A little spell of possession here for San Diego State. Rami Jaridley with the swim around that time. He's got a defensive touch to it there for the Beavers, so throw in for San Diego State. Offensively, Aztecs come in averaging 7 corners per match, 11th most in the NCAA. They have yet to win one so far tonight. Presto on it in a good spot. Plays it through. Morera trying to roll it through, but handled on the other side for Oregon State. They can try and dribble it out the back. That was Fernandez Kim getting on it, and then he was streaking forward in front of Cortijo. Now they'll play it long, chested down, but taken back by San Diego State. 2 corners for them against UC Riverside, 6 against Santa Clara, 8 against San Diego. Talked about some of that inefficiency for the Aztecs in terms of shots on target. In the last 3 contests for them for SDSU, 8 of 38 shots on frame, that's 21%. Some of these matches when they've been behind, they've had some good late surges, urgency being high. That's always tougher to score when you get behind. The match goes on and might find it easier to get forward and create chances if your opponent decides we have the lead and let's play this thing a little more defensively. I think that late fight has been a positive for San Diego State. They'll need to tap into that once again. Trailing just past the hour mark. This battle of 19-year Pac-12 rivals. Breakup of the conference 2 years ago, but great to see these programs keeping this thing on the schedule. Always a little more juice when you have this kind of familiarity, and 2 teams that non-conference play providing good tests for one another here tonight. Long stretch of possession for Oregon State. I'll stay on it here as San Diego State looks to get Juan Zepeda back into action. So Zepeda will check in, the target man up top, and Rami Jaridley will take his seat. Much more hold-up play from Zepeda. Jaridley kind of gives you that top-end burner speed and do some good things for you out wide. Now you're taking off in the second half of NCAA men's soccer. They did away with the re-entry rule last year. So that means if you go off in the second half, except for certain kinds of exceptions, and we'll visit those if we actually get to them, that means that the rest of your night is done. So that'll be all for Rami Jaridley tonight, 3rd-year starter for the Aztecs out of Chino Hills High School and Strikers FC. Fernandez Kim getting some instruction from the Oregon State bench here. NorCal product out of Berkeley High School, East Bay United. rode up, asking for a handball. Didn't look live like anything that was wrong with how Nick Orth had played that. Now San Diego State going out the back, win a throw. Yeah, nothing wrong with asking for it. I think Orth that time, you're looking for where are your arms? Are they in a natural position? Are you making yourself bigger, making your body and your frame bigger as the ball comes up to you? I thought live, nothing doing there. And the correct call to leave that thing. Throw comes in long, and it will end up as a goal kick for Oregon State. The Beavers down on the pinch after that throw in. Then Zepeda go after and chase, and sounded like heard San Diego State's bench calling for a yellow for simulation. It wouldn't be the first time tonight that has been the case. That one got over the head of Fran Cortijo, and then his left boot. His momentum came down and stomped on the water bottle there. So perhaps RIP to that bottle here on the near side of the pitch. Multi-ball system, multi-bottle system, but a little too close to the front lines there. Important play by Apolinar. Slid in, stopped a potential takeaway in a good spot, and now leads the Aztecs forward. Stefan Barrera, the OVC Offensive Player of the Year 2 years back, and an all-region man in that season. Taking off the ball here and lifted out of play. Oregon State looking to counter. Kepisi gets there with SDSU for Nick Orth. Now for Viviani. Over the top, but easily taken back that time by Morlans. Some of the decision-making for San Diego State attacking half of the pitch is the Aztecs have tried to find the way forward. It hasn't been particularly sharp tonight. Trying to value the ball a little bit more here with 25 minutes and change to play. Lift one over the top. Beckett Miller's offside. Rest of the WCC preseason poll. San Diego the favorite. Portland in at third. USF and Seattle tied for fourth. Those two teams, along with Oregon State, really a five that figure to provide a very competitive conference set of action once again. Elsewhere in the WAC tonight, just one match, and it's also here in San Diego up in La Jolla. UC San Diego taking on Utah Tech. Now, Utah Tech, the WAC side, on the road against UC San Diego out of the Big West, and just announced recently that the Tritons will be joining the West Coast Conference in 2 years' time. In the WCC, Gonzaga's got a 2-0 lead on Oregon Tech at home, and a top 25 battle, Portland on the road against St. Louis. Pilots and the Billikens played out to a 0-0 draw today. So that's what's happening around the WAC and the West Coast Conference. Affiliate conferences for these two programs. Move forward here for Oregon State. Saved by Fournier. Looking for the second effort. They pull it back across. Out by SDSU, but only as far as the Beavers. It was Carbonell Garcia who started that run. That gets it out wide here to Lucas Fernandez-Kim. Slid on out of play. That's a free kick, and we could very well be seeing a yellow card here. That's going to come out for that challenge, saying that was too cynical for Beckett Miller then. Big one sliding in for San Diego State. Got a good piece and sets Oregon State up for a free kick. Initial threshold for yellow card suspension is 5 of them early on in the season. And Miller picks up his third yellow for that last exchange. An opportunity here for Lucas Fernandez-Kim. Try and serve this thing up. The group that's playing a little bit different midfield look than in the past. Couple of sixes. Fernandez-Kim is more of an offensive-minded one. He'll start lower lying, but really has the skill set of an attacking mid. Serves it up. It's cut back across and out for a goal kick as Fernando Hernandez grad student out of Dolores, Spain. That time arriving for Oregon State. It's a little bit different look, those couple sixes that they've got in there. And Jared Brookins saying our guys have been effective in learning the system to allow them to get some touches established and then try and win some wide area battles. By Fernandez Kim there to try and spring Cortijo. Physicality for the Aztecs, and Boyd, now a runner coming in left side. It's Cortijo into the box. Rolls across all the way through, settled on back outside the 18 by Carbonell Garcia. Now this one coming into the far post and over the line and out. Goal kick, San Diego State. Asked him with Greg Dalby moving on and Coach Brookins taking over. How else is the team different? Said we got a little more fluidity in our freedom and our structure, just a little bit. Said a lot of what we did on and off the ball, we kept that. But we have older guys that know our system, so we trust them to make decisions in game and just try to give them a little bit more of that fluidity and freedom than in years past. And he highlighted Arnau Farnos as one of those in that mix. He can take up a lot of positions for this group, go and find the space. Coach saying, we give him the ideas and ultimately say, this is what to think about, but it's up to you. Go out and do your job. And defending to tool this one off of San Diego State. Nice defensive work. Get it out for a goal kick, and Andrew Degan. John Nicholson called on for just one save tonight as the Beavers continue to create a spread in the shot count. 14 of them, 5 on target. Just 4 shots, 1 on frame for SDSU. And Oregon State working off of that 61% of possession in the opening half, having a lot of ball here in the second 45 as well. Beavers reset, working here on to the back line, now through to the middle. Drawing in some Aztecs, and good patience here by this group. San Diego State keeping a lot of numbers behind the ball here. So that'll open up those kinds of passes, but this one picked back off by Stefan Barrera. Barrera battling for it, a little bit of grabbing that time, and Cortijo gives away a foul. Josh Lucas getting set to come back on for San Diego State, so that will be all for Leighton and Paranto, the AAC co-midfielder of the year from a season ago.
Match for the Aztecs, number 7, Josh Lucas.
Lucas, who was one of the 4 changes to the 11 that lost 2-0 against UCR on Monday, but factored in as a substitute and seen the ball at his feet a lot when he's been in this match here tonight. Rejoin the Aztecs on the left side. Apolinar stepping through. This one gets in the area of Lucas, but back here for Carbonell Garcia. He's been an instigator at the back for this group tonight. Cut this thing off to the right side. It's Hoffman, sails it high. Was an avenue on the left that drew some of San Diego State's attention. And they got it over to Hoffman. Spent time with the U17, U18 German teams. But that one always running high. The guy who they really like, the versatility that Hoffman brings to the table. Foul here and a free kick once again for Oregon State. San Diego State group, they're keeping it here on the sports deck. Yale on Monday is the next one. No stream for you there, but you can follow along on live stats. Back here on WAC International on September 21st against Cal Poly. They'll be at Cal State Fullerton and then start out conference play at Air Force. Away to Air Force, home against Grand Canyon, UNLV, and Utah Tech. Then away to San Jose State and Utah Valley, home against California Baptist, the WAC tournament in Riverside in November. As Fabian Stroudy gets back into action here. The Italian international preseason All-WCC, 17 career assists. Fourth most all-time for Oregon State. Takes the spot of Fran Cortijo. We'll check out for final time tonight. And those 6 substitution moments, not counting halftime, one of the new rules from last year. So as many players as you want in one go, as long as everything checks out with re-entry and all that, but you get 6 moments, not counting halftime, to make substitutions during the match. So very much tightening things up. Goalless at the half. Goalless just seconds past the 50th minute tonight. Arnau Farnos. Free kick goal, and a really good one. About 22 yards out, just outside the left post. Took it to the far side, went direct into the corner. Brilliant finish. And the difference in the match right now. Oregon State trying to make it 2 consecutive wins. Beavers are offside here. And San Diego State group bringing back 6 starters from last year's WAC championship team. And a couple of them, Carrillo and Oke Gwali, injured for the moment. So both teams have been shorthanded. Again, for Oregon State, we told you about Stroudy missing the last 2. Haven't seen Jacob Zapien tonight, so if we don't, that'd be 3 in a row. As Marrera is helped off here by Beckett Miller and Cassie Sears. San Diego State's athletic trainer will come out and have a look. So breather for both teams here in minute number 74. As for Oregon State, I told you in the first half, unusually light schedule here in non-conference play. Your next matchup, it's 12 days from now at Stanford on September 24th, and they'll start West Coast Conference play at San Francisco on the 27th. Home to St. Mary's, away to LMU, home to Portland, at Gonzaga and Seattle. They'll take on Santa Clara late in WCC play. Non-conference matchup mixed in against UT Rio Grande Valley. And then Pacific, and what could be a potentially monumental match to close out West Coast Conference action against San Diego, November 15th, up at Lorenz Field. So some injury concern here for San Diego State. We'll mark this one down for Stefan Marrera. It's a growing list of Aztecs that are banged up here. That's been part of it. The struggle in the early part of the season, just on and off. A lot of different things in the way of injuries for this group. Trying to find the group that can click, be consistent enough throughout a 90-minute match. I think they battled tough tonight. Less than 17 minutes to try and level this thing. And Baptiste Boyd here ready to get us back into action. So no injury time. That's why you see the clock stopped when somebody goes down to ground. And San Diego State, a little bit of contact and win a free kick here in a good spot.
Enter the match as number 2, Christian Engman.
Somewhere in the area of about 30 yards out, and Christian Engman. Now the mask on when we saw him last is not now for San Diego State. It looks like they're going to send Engman over to take this thing. So number 2 at first, it was Rami Jaridley, and Now Ingman heading back over to the bench. So he will indeed have the mask, and they'll let him get back in here. But this is also a time ticket off that San Diego State really needs to save. Big target, try and pick out. St. Mary's transfer has been limited with injuries so far in his San Diego State career. Viviani's ball. Headed down, falls in the 18, calmly walked out here by the Princeton transfer Nico Nee and away. Defensive sequence there for Oregon State. Aztecs picking out a good spot. Service there from Viviani's. They try to get somebody running in on that thing. Engman's got pretty good weapon of a long throw that he can try and tap into around the 18-yard box, but also here, quickly through to that Oregon State back line and Fernando Hernandez. Contact here and a free kick. Hernandez Kim leaves it back off the free kick. Quarter of an hour to go here at San Diego State. Arnal Farnos free kick goal in the 51st. The difference tonight. Anzapeta charging through here. John Nicholson steps forward. Puts it long there for San Diego State. Back for Apolinar, but quickly back here for Fabian Stroudy. Hernandez Kim now for Richards. It's cool to see from Richards coming over as a grad student from Missouri Valley College, where he's an All-American. Started 71 matches, 7 goals, 8 assists for native of London, England. Not often you see some of the JUCO guys that make their way over for just that last year. You can see the NCAA ruling that granted junior college players an extra year of eligibility. A lot of those guys, well, men and women should say, taking advantage across a number of sports. But usually you look for those JUCO transfers to come in, get a year, get settled at the D1 level. In this case, it's just right away. And now we're seeing a stoppage, and Oregon State Beaver down behind the action here. This will freeze the clock. As this is Stroudy, who on that last exchange in the corner stayed down as San Diego State worked its way out. Good show of sportsmanship there between those two as Gepsy comes over to check on him. The Aztecs get ready for 2 more substitutions, trying to keep the legs fresh. Bring on some options that can help them out in attack. One of them, Carson Bella, is back in, and one of them, Lorenzo Hernandez, is in for the first time. Lorenzo Hernandez, the product of San Mateo, Hillsdale High School, and the Deanza Force.
And number 24, Lorenzo Hernandez.
Limited in last year's action, playing in his 23rd match for San Diego State here in this one. I like the calmness that he brings on the ball. Somebody who's going to step into a wide roll up and on the right side right now for San Diego State. He's trying to close down here on Degon. Turns it toward the middle, draws him in. Back here for Richards. Now for San Diego State, sometimes what you're trying to do here is cut off the pitch, stop them from getting it across left to right. As Gepsy is called for the foul, and it looks like he's going to pick up a yellow here as well. They contact that time on Stroudy, and I think that was more for the dissent from Gepsy than it was the actual challenge. So Gepsy and Beckett Miller both on yellows now for San Diego State. And yellow card stops the clock. And now in the final 15 minutes, any sub by a leading team, Oregon State, clock has to stop. The match is tied, and either side makes a sub, it has to stop, but no subs for the trailing side, leading to clock stoppages. So something to keep an eye on here as we get late. That was a rule change last year and a good one. Brought back from the final 5 to the final 15. Try and save time and prevent time wasting in the way of substitutes. Left-footed boot by Dagon, whipping its way in. Header away by Gepesi, and it will stay for a throw. So possession still here with Oregon State, and the Beavers right now lead enough in this match. No rush to get forward. And now they'll go ahead and make that substitution, so the clock will stop for this action here. Just a single swap for the Beavers as Hoffman takes a seat. Good moments, especially in that opening half tonight. And they get one of their starters, Paul Fecto, back in.
State number 29, Paul Fecto.
Team's wrestling for it as Oregon State looking to go park it by the corner flag. The Beavers will have a throw. Aztecs jar it loose again. Another throw-in coming up for OSU. And again, no rush here. And this time they want a free kick. So taking some time off, setting up in a free kick in a good spot. Now, the question is, because they're parking it by the corner flag and there's a decent amount of time left in this second half. Well, never too early for end of match tactics. They're going to try and take this thing and play it directly into the box, or keep it short and make the Aztecs continue to chase them. They're going to play it short. They need somebody to come over for that. Basically a short corner. Dagon setting up. A bit of extra contact in the box that time as Viviani ends up down on the pitch. So the clock stopped once again while they talk about it. Been choppy stop and start here. It's Rafael Bonilla bringing Viviani and Hernandez over and saying no more. Now play it in, trying to curl it. Hits the bulge, but that's just outside that near post. So out for a San Diego State goal kick inside of 11 minutes to go. Fournier boots it long out the back. Cepeda flicks the header on. A free kick here for San Diego State. Well, there's again what a little bit of that hold-up play, willingness to play the physical game that Juan Cepeda can bring for you. He's getting good impact for San Diego State. Start his Aztec career. Here's Carson Bella. And over end into the box. Cepeda flicks the header on and watched out that time by Farnos. Quickly defended out by Oregon State and trying to go track it down, and once again calling for a stoppage of the clock. Well, you got the multi-ball system, and there's always one sitting by the goal. So the impetus is on the keeper to go get that one sitting by the goal and not say, I'm going to chase this ball down that's rolling away on the track to waste some more time. And that's part of what Rafael Bonilla is saying here. But I think this is the better way to do it officiating-wise, to get out in front of some of this early. Use the discretion to stop the clock. I think officials who are doing that are doing the good work to try and extend some of these games. It's the tricky part. It's so unique to this level that no injury time. How do you manage all of that, especially late on in matches? A lot of what this match has been for the last 10 minutes or so. Some long spells of possession for Oregon State. They're comfortable playing here with the back. and leaving San Diego State to chase him. That time an ill-advised chip. Aztecs can get running the other way. Quickly intervening, and an important one that time from Morlans. Aztecs some good numbers going forward. Just the one shot on target for them. It's a Beaver team that has been well organized defensively tonight. Flick it with the back of the boot. Set up potential run out here for Stroudy, who cuts it centrally. Fabian Stroudy rolling it right side. Good tempo here. This blast from range is well out of play. Off the mark that time from Carbonell Garcia. Back out for a San Diego State goal kick. 8.5 minutes to go. And Oregon State up 1-0. Fournier, in terms of his shot stopping tonight, has looked good. I think some adjustments in terms of positioning, and that's just part of getting used to this level. But he has made a couple of big saves. Keep this thing at a one-goal match. Slid away. Good play there by Baptiste Boyd. And those two are linked. Again, it was Boyd who got the coaches onto Fournier here for San Diego State. Same club, Claremont Foot 63. Fifth tier of French soccer, and to our roommates as well. So continuing that French connection here in San Diego. Throw in by Carbonell Garcia. Awkward play that saw Viviani take a foul there. So free kick here for SDSU. That's been solid defensive work for Oregon State tonight. One moment of brilliance on the free kick, and a couple of stretches that were good enough to try and get him a second goal. Roll it off to the right side. Send it back centrally, and the left-footed look will go wayward. Somehow managing to stay in play, and Christian Engman can track it down. Another good look forward. They've got to have an XG, that expected goal metric, of somewhere around 3 tonight, I would think. What the Beavers have done getting forward. And now we're seeing stoppage here. Now referee crossed his arms over his head, so stoppage of play, and is heading over toward the San Diego State goal to have a look at something here. Goal was just a little bit off the line there, so there you go. Making sure everything is lined up. Got to look at San Diego State women's soccer, usually out supporting the men when they're not overlapping. They picked up a huge win at Pepperdine. Down 2-0 and a tough yard to play in up in Malibu, and came away with a big win for Mike Friesen and his group. Long boot for Christian Engman. Clock didn't get going for a few seconds there, so saving a few for San Diego State. As they play it forward, Zepeda heads it to himself. A couple options around him, leaves it back. Carson Bella tries to get the cross away, out for a throw. Fernandez Kim getting in the way. And that UC Davis team that lost in the opening round 1-0 at San Diego on a long Cesar Bahena wonder goal last year, and he's fit in seamlessly, and that's been one thing that I've been happy about for this group, the integration of the newcomers for Oregon State this year and how quickly these guys have come in and clicked. They've gone on in non-conference this year. Viviani's throw. Headed down Aztecs tracking on it. First time left-footed ball. Viviani. Zepeda flicks the header on, and it goes wide. John Nicholson had that thing tracked and covered, but again, picking out big 6'4" Juan Zepeda, the sophomore. Couple of years at Temple. Didn't play last year. He was injured. All AAC second teamer and a rookie performer 2 years ago. Product of Guadalajara, Mexico, and Atlas FC. Got a goal at Howard, the 4th of his NCAA career. Some Aztec insurance. A win earlier this year. Inside of 5 minutes to go now. 1-0 Oregon State. Beavers have done well to change the tempo of this match. Been holding a lot of possession. We don't get live possession stats for you here at this level, but if I had to guess, I'd say it's still north of 60%, which is where they were at halftime. And a lot of it had been about getting forward and creating chances, and they've done well with that. And now, changing the tempo, very much slowing things down, holding the ball, taking a little time off in the corner, even with 12, 13 minutes to go. So possession looking to attack. And now possession looking to defend this thing out. Keeping San Diego State pinned in here. Part of the good defense has just been positioning, quick decision making, keeping everything pretty simple. And getting it away to keep San Diego State at bay here tonight. Talk about this group being hungry, feeling like there was chip on the shoulder in a good way. They lost, it was basically a coin flip match against Gardner-Webb. He's off to a good start this year, by the way, in the top 10. At RPI's 35 and 36, those two programs a year ago. At Lorenz Field for this group that went to its first College Cup in program history 2 years back. A nice run as an unseeded team, lost the semifinal to Notre Dame. Not retooled, playing some good soccer early on here in 2025. Back on the move, trying to find some insurance as they roll it across, and Engman there to intervene. It'll stay with the Beavers and Andrew DeGan. Closest to at that time should be a quick throw, and just, you'd think, park it by the corner flag here. They won't go to the shortest option. They'll go to knee. Aztecs quickly take it away. Apolinar launches it through. Back at the feet of San Diego State. Zepeda trying to free it up and does so. Back for Viviani. He launches it forward, looking for Josh Lucas. Overshot a little bit. Headed on once again by San Diego State as they'll pick it up. Hernandez Kim. Around Hernandez. Keeping it himself and leaving it back inside of 2 minutes to go. Aztecs have spent a lot of time defending tonight. How much do they have left in the tank? Header flicked back on and go out off of Boyd, on for an Oregon State corner. Now they can take a little more time off the clock, play this corner short, and hold it for the Aztecs. On the other side of things, you got to get numbers around the ball. Try and get around it. Get your steps out into touch. Every time it's taken off of you and played out, that's just more valuable time that goes away. But it's really been a long stretch of slowing this game down effectively for Oregon State. They'll play it short here, keep it by the flag. Aztecs poke it away quickly. The Beavers,
1 minute,
also for their part, not committing too many numbers forward, so ready when the Aztecs are flying out the back. Viviani slid down. He'll set up for a free kick here, and now clock stopped once again. Beavers keeping a couple numbers around, not allowing San Diego State to get that thing forward, and now Vincent Fournier wants to play it too far forward. They'll get ready to boot this thing long here. 45 seconds to go. Launch it forward. This is onside. Fournier still retreating here for San Diego State. Move could be still to go to the corner. No, they'll take the shot, and it skips just wide. But took a touch off of San Diego State. So that's a corner for Oregon State, and that should just about do it here. Full head of steam here for the goal scorer, Farno, setting it up onto the right.
10, 9,
bringing
8,
it back through.
7.
Well, didn't look like much of anything of a touch
4,
that time.
3.
And it'll end up being
1.
the last significant action here tonight. Oregon State, the mission today, can you do it away from Lorenz? Well, they have. It's a 1-0 win for the Beavers.